Hello guys, and welcome to episode 17 of Minecraft Cities and Castles. Today we're taking a look at Colinas, which is one of the biggest cities I've made, and it is fully furnished. So I'll show you a bunch of the interiors when we get to it. But before that, we're going to fly around here so we can admire the view, soak in the views. We have a harbor here coming into town, and then the whole thing is basically built on this little peninsula. Mostly out of granite for the larger houses, but the smaller ones are more colorful. And some of them use terracotta, or at the time it was called hardened clay, for the roof. There is a small park in the center of town, along with an angel statue. The angel statue is not my own creation. It was built from a tutorial, because this build is a few years old. The credits for that will be in the Planet Minecraft description, which as always will be in the description of this video, if you want to get the link to download the world for yourself. But without further ado, let's start looking at the town of Colinas. So Colinas is just the Spanish word for hills because this place is built on basically two hills. And I was kind of inspired by a more kind of southern Mediterranean look for the area. Before we go down the main road, which is lined with custom cypress trees, I want to show you the shipyards and the docks. So there's kind of two parts to this. The first is the shipyards. So this is where they're actually constructing all those ships you see out in the harbor. Here you can see a place to construct those smaller ships, and in here, in this covered factory, we are constructing a larger ship, like that one. Although not quite that big, because this is still a pretty small build. What you'll notice is that the blending here and all the little trees and stuff are custom terrain, along with those cliffs there, which are made out of terracotta. So this is technically just a savanna, but I put a lot of work into making it a bit more natural looking. Here we have the harbor. So it's this long kind of cobblestone area with these little warehouses here. And I ended up doing a similar thing to this when I built Newport, which is probably going to be the next thing I'll show off in this series. So here we have another little area. This one is full of wheat and hay and stuff. And then here we are getting to the shops. So we have the catch of the day here, all these fish. A lot of lag from these little item frames, so I try to use fewer of them than I did at the time. One of the things I've even done is gone back through my old builds and gotten rid of a bunch of the old item frames and armor stands because they are they are really laggy though. Very lag inducing. This is peaceful. I'll take you briefly to the lighthouse here. So on this little natural island, we have stairs leading into the water and then just a small lighthouse. So here we have a little furnace, small living area. Coming up here. Okay. Here we have the actual fire itself, which is not currently lit, but it's built out of little campfires and stuff. Yeah, if I did this today, I would definitely use less granite. At the time, I wanted something really different and colorful, but I think it comes off as being a bit oppressive in some of the builds. Here we have a ship with an anchor all the way at the bottom. Let me get a torch so you can see. Here we are. So this is just so this is just a simple little anchor made out of netherite and blackstone, and it's tied to a chain that comes all the way up here. This ship is another tutorial, I believe. I don't know, ships are hard, man. But it has basically a little place up here where you can steer. You have your little maps there on the cartography table. Here we have the little boat that brings your stuff to the docks because you can't really dock this in the proper area. Captain's quarters, kind of spacious. Even has a closet. And a little parrot. And then if we come down here below decks, it's a mix of storage along with sleeping quarters for the crew. We come around here. Got some more storage, and then... Geez, this is a maze. Okay, hold on, we'll get there. We'll get there. And then back here we have some more storage. All right, that wasn't worth it. But you can see that that's where they would lower the crates and stuff down. And in the bottom here, we have the treasury. So this is where they're keeping all the gold and iron that they're bringing into the city. Okay, this is too much. Where the hell did I come down? Okay, here we are. Okay, I am sick of that. Okay, so let's get into the actual kind of city outskirts. So just before we get into the city itself, we do have some farms here. This is halfway through being cultivated. So we see that they have wheat that is being piled up here, along with a little chicken coop design. If you're wondering how this stuff doesn't get out here, I don't know. I know over here, though, there are barrier blocks in some places. Yeah, we're standing on air right now. Because the sheep really like to get out, and you can see they're all bunched up on this hill for no reason, other than to make this build look worse. But let's get into the city itself now. So there is a wall partially around the city. And we have two ways to go. So we have the main street here, and then we could go up to Capital Square. I'm going to save Capital Square for the end, because that's where the town hall is and the bathhouse. I think that'll be a good way to end off. So before we do that, let's go to the Hold Your Horses stables. Puns. Yeah. It was a different time, I swear. So here we have the stables, a little doghouse. This is where you keep most of the horses. It's a pretty big building. And then out here we have the manure collection. Because you don't want to keep it all in here. It's going to stink up something awful. And if we actually come into the building here, you'll see that there is a little office with some horse armor. There is a house up there above, but I won't show you all the living quarters because it'll get repetitive. We have the King's Head in here, which is a tavern. So we have a little eating area, patio. And if we come up here, we have, we come up here, we have the kitchens. That's a nice fireplace design. I should do another one like this soon. And then this kind of leads back out onto the patio. And then you can come up here. And this is where the actual tavern inn part is. And this is just a little bedroom. Whoops, okay. Sorry if you are getting dizzy at this moment. Bit much, I know. We can continue down here. We have a bakery. So here is the little bake shop, and we can see that there is some dough over there waiting to be baked. We also have a market here. In the center of all these little shops, we have a marketplace that surrounds a well. So like any good marketplace, we're going to have some hot food. Going to be selling like some livestock, apples, eggs, wheat from the farms outside town. And we also have a bunch of shops down here. So here we have a blacksmith. So this is the counter kind of show off area. And then back here we have the forge. And this is just, you can see it's really close to the sand here. So there's no real backs to any of these buildings in the sense that it's just like one building deep, this street. But if we look into some of the other shops here, we have a little barbershop with string on the floor to look like hair. This place is called Lice Knowing You. The carpenter, Hammer Time. And if we come in here, we have So It Seems, which is a little tailor shop. You'll have to forgive me the puns. I completely forgot that this place was as silly as it is. But here we have a gallows, perhaps a bit less silly. But basically, here's where you would hang prisoners, or not, where you would hang essentially hardened criminals. And you can see that there are basically barrier blocks down here to keep those little stools up. Over here we have the scribe. So if you want anything written down, you're gonna have to come to the scribe. You gotta remember, most people for like all of history are illiterate. So we have a fish and chip shop with the kitchen down in the basement. And then over here we have the butcher. And I'll show you, this is where we're getting into the kind of lower class district. So a lot of these are very cramped homes. I won't show them all to you, but a lot of the space here is totally packed in with little things like that, little markets and gardens and stuff. Here we have we have a carrot garden. And one of the cool things about this place is that you can see that they're in the middle of kind of filling it out. So over here, we have a kiln where they are making clay for the roofs. And we have a building that is currently under construction here, a little bit deeper into the construction. You can see this one is built, but it isn't furnished yet. And then here they're just laying out the plans for another building. You can see basically 4 different stages of places being built. And it adds really a big sense of life to the place. But speaking of things that are lively, let's go to the gardens. So we have the Santa Maria Park here. These are all custom trees and custom terrain, basically. Because I think under here is a ravine that I had to cover up. I think, again, this was like 1.16, so it's been a minute. But here we have the angel statue. If I built this today, this would be candles, so that's how you know that it's a bit of an older build. But let me show you the statue up here. Here we have it. The angel of the city standing in the park. And it makes a good monument. I should do more monuments, to be honest. But enough of that yapping. Let's get up to Capitol Square. You will notice that the houses here are a bit larger. So that's a house down there, and this is one house here. And if we come up here, we see that this is the square. We have a cathedral in this part. So we have 2 layers. We can either sit up here or down there, where the common people sit. And here we have this really big, chunky altar. I swear this used to look like wine, and then they changed the potion textures on me. That's not my fault. It's supposed to be wine. It's communal wine. I swear. And then here we have the bathhouse. Sorry. There we have the bathhouse. So it's called the hot and steamy. So if we come in, there's a little reception. We have the spa room. So here's where you can hang out at the hot baths. And here we have the kind of heating element for the whole thing. And then if we come outside, we have a relaxation area. But here you can see over the city walls. There is a well here. And then there is a pagoda where you can just hang out basically. A little flower bed. And what you see at this building here is the town hall. So this is technically split up into 3 buildings, but they're all connected. The first one is the bank, Vivaldi Bank, named after The Witcher 3 / just the Witcher books in general. We have your little teller spots here. Your safety deposit boxes essentially. And then here we have some gold and a little office. And then this links up to Town Hall. But just before I show you that, I'll show you the other side. And the other side is a prison, basically. So the only real law enforcement in the city is the bailiff of Colinas. And if we come under here, we can see that there are 2 pretty large prison cells, but you can fit multiple people in here. Like I said, the granites is definitely like too much at this point, but I think it's a good idea in theory. It just needs a bit more tweaking. I would come back and redo this build, but like I talked about in my perfectionism and burnout video, I spent a lot of time just going back and being unhappy with things, and I'd rather just, let it lie. So here we have a little greeting place. We have an area for guild meetings. So say if you're part of like the Butcher's Guild, the Baker's Guild, Smiths. In the Middle Ages, you don't really have unions so much as you have guilds. So the way to get any kind of like political or labor rights is to be part of these guilds. So they become like super influential. When you think of things like the Witcher orders in the Witcher books, or something like the Warrior's Sons in the kind of Song of Ice and Fire universe, those are all kind of guilds. They're all, even if they're not professions, they're still essentially kind of common groups. And then on this side, we have the announcement hall. So if you wanted to make some kind of proclamation to the city, what you would do is essentially gather everyone in this room, or as many people as you could fit, and give a little announcement. And of course, this connects into the bank. We go upstairs, however. Apologies again for the spiral staircase. That's as far as it goes. This layer has offices. So there's little ones like this, and this one. And then there is one big one for the mayor. Whoops, okay. The mayor has a big office overlooking the cathedral and the fountain there. And it's this huge kind of like dominating space that is, there's no chair here, so you have to like basically either stand or kneel or whatever. And then he has his own little balcony back here. That's going to do it for the city, guys, though. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you in episode 18 for Newport. Definitely the city I am the proudest of. And I will see you guys next time.